Hi, I'm Tom Milady, and welcome to this season of Juror 13. This time on Juror 13, we're going to be looking at the Shaquille Robinson murder based out of Cleveland, Ohio. Now, this investigation is going to be a bit different than what we've done in the past. We always conducted personal interviews, looked at police reports, looked at coroner's reports, and tried to create a new pathway toward evidence that would solve an open case. Now, with the Shaquille Robinson murder, Detective Kramer and the Cleveland Police Department have already apprehended two men. They've charged them with Shaquille's murder. So, potentially, depending on how the trial goes, and there's been continuance after continuance, it's dragging on, but it looks like this case could potentially be solved. As a result, we're going to look deeply, take a real close look at these three men and how they wound up in the situation that they're in today. Two of them locked up, charged with murder, and the third left dead, unattended, in a vehicle to be discovered a month later on a cold, lonely Cleveland winter day. Wherever you are right now, as you listen to me, I have to let you know that I'm going to challenge you a little bit here. I'm going to talk to you about some things that would potentially make you feel uncomfortable. And I'm going to ask you to listen to subjects that you've heard over and over again in a different way, with an open mind, to avoid the numbness that you and I have both developed toward them. I'm talking about shootings so numerous that we have a classification for them in the news: mass murder, serial killings, school shootings, Texas, Colorado, Nevada, Connecticut, Ohio. The list goes on and on. If I mention gun violence to you, do you shake your head and do you shut down? Oh no, not again. More likely, if you own a gun, you still don't condone gun violence, but you don't know what to do. And if you try to understand this, it's impossible. There's no easy solution. I know it's really hard. Now, I can no longer be stoic or pessimistic about this. The situation in Cleveland has gotten so out of hand. It's a huge population of criminals, ungoverned, unchecked, an overburdened police department, which is undermanned, and gun laws that favor the criminal. This case is going to be difficult for me. Normally, I can separate myself emotionally as I try to build rapport with people that I interview or as I look at details of a case. But this time around, it's going to be harder because I knew Shaquille Robinson. I watched him grow as a person. I saw him grow as a budding young chef-to-be. I watched him begin meaningful relationships. I saw all of this, but mostly, like I said, I knew Shaquille Robinson. To come to terms with the fact that the shy kid with the 1,000-watt smile was left murdered and alone for a month in some car in the middle of winter in a West Cleveland block gives me a lonely, empty feeling in the pit of my stomach that I just cannot shake. As we first started to look at the news stories that surrounded Shaquille's murder, my producer and I uncovered an Instagram page called the Cleveland Remembrance Page. Now, on that page were innumerable stories, RIP celebrations, of the names and faces that became impossible to sort through just because of the sheer volume. And they are all Shaquille, murdered and left behind with nothing but a wake of emptiness and sorrow that are as meaningless as typed emojis and computer-prescribed condolences. This season on Juror 13, the Shaquille Robinson case, Cleveland, Ohio. And like I said before, we're going to look into how this crime actually occurred. We're going to look objectively at the lives of the men who are charged with it, and you're going to hear about Shaquille's successes, his troubles, the chefs who mentored him, the people who loved him. And somewhere along the line, hopefully, we're going to look at ourselves. And we're going to see how what separates us could bring us together and perhaps slow down the senseless waste of life that is happening daily in Cleveland and everywhere. In what's perhaps symbolically depicted as the world's first homicide, Cain, when asked as to the whereabouts of his brother Abel, stated, "How am I to know? Am I my brother's keeper?" As challenging and uncomfortable as it may be, folks, I'm here to tell you, yes, you are. You're your brother's and your sister's keeper, and I urge you to think about that. We'll see you the next time on Juror 13. Until then, I'm Tom Milady. And remember, take care of yourselves and each other, please. Thank you.